Devastating news for the Cowboys as Tony Romo will be sidelined yet again. He's wearing a back brace as he begins his recovery from a compression fracture in his L1 vertebrae that he suffered Thursday against the Seahawks. For now, Romo's rehab will consist of rest and immobility, but Jason Garrett will not rule him out for the September 11th season opener against the Giants.
Tony has a broken bone in his back. It's a fracture, and we've gotten a lot of different timetables for when he can return. We also know that he's played with a broken bone in his back before. So there's no reason for me to stand up here and put a timetable on this. I think a lot of other people outside of this building have suggested they know what the timetable is. That's not the world we live in. We live in the world day by day. Do what you can to get yourself better, and we'll update you as we go.
Romo is expected to miss 6 to 10 weeks, as first reported Saturday by CBS Sports, confirmed by ESPN's Todd Archer. So backup quarterback Dak Prescott, who's been the highlight of the preseason, essentially will be thrown into the fire earlier than expected. Stephen A., how should the Cowboys feel about Romo's injury?
On a serious note, let me say that you don't wish injury upon anybody. I know, because everybody knows how I like to go off about the Cowboys. I'm a native New Yorker. I can't stand the Dallas Cowboy fan base. We all know this. But in all seriousness, I don't wish injury upon anybody. That man's got a wife, he's got kids, he's got a family, and he's got his whole life to live. And Tony Romo actually is an incredibly nice guy, so you wish him nothing but the best. But how should the Dallas Cowboys feel about this? The operative word is relieved, because they have Dak Prescott. They have somebody who's seems to be a capable backup, ready to fill in. They should also be excited. That's another operative word. And the word excitement comes into play because you've got somebody in there that seems to have a bright future, and being that the quarterback is the prime position in the National Football League, and the one that you have is religiously hurt, shoulder, collarbones, etc. He's only played 16 games in 4 of the 9 seasons. He's been the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. When you consider the bevy of injuries that Tony Romo has been subjected to, again, relieved is one word. The word excited is another. Now let me get to the Cowboys. Having said all of that, look, I am not laughing about Tony Romo. I'm not laughing about his specific injury. But what makes me just giggle is that somehow, some way, the Dallas Cowboys are the accident waiting to happen. I continuously have said this for years. I will continuously say it now. What do I continuously say all the time? Molly, you're a witness. You're an eyewitness to this, Molly. Max Kellerman,
can I get a witness?
I literally say this. I don't care what the roster is. I don't care about their talent. I don't care about the prognosticators. I always say, I got folks there behind the camera. Tell me I'm lying. I always sit back and I say, just wait. They won't let you down. Trust me when I tell you something will happen, because they are the Dallas Cowboys, and something always happens. It was Tony Romo's injury. But did y'all see the news about Ezekiel Elliott at the marijuana, the
dispensary in Seattle?
The dispensary. Oh, I'm sorry. Your number four overall pick, your first round draft pick, a rookie straight out of Ohio State. You haven't even passed gas in the NFL yet, but they spot you at a marijuana dispensary. Really? These are the Dallas Cowboys. They cannot help themselves. It's somehow, some way, they will get in their own way, they will mess it up, or somebody will mess it up for them. Now, far be it for me to say this, because again, I wish no harm or ill will physically upon Tony Romo whatsoever. But my goodness, if this were RG3, wouldn't we be talking about how he should be taking lessons from the Cleveland Indians? Or when he was in Washington, the Washington Nationals, in terms of learning how to slide. Tony Romo is trying to slide, but when he slid, he was actually sitting up. So the weight came down on his shoulder, which was why the back was broken. Had you slid the way you're supposed to slide, okay, that might not have happened. But once again, these are the kind of things that happen. Just a freak accident. Who's to say he doesn't know how to slide? It was just a bad attempt at a slide at a particular point in time. There we go. But this is what happens. Because when we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, the operative word is patience. Take your time. Just wait. They'll find a way to mess it up. I don't know how. I don't know when. It'll be in the season. Might be the regular season. Might be during the playoffs. But somehow, some way, they will get in their own way. And by the way, this won't be the last. And I'm not wishing injury. I'm not saying another injury is going to happen. I'm saying something. When stuff starts to go together, when stuff gets a little bit right, when stuff looks good, you watch. The Dallas Cowboys, something's going to happen to get in their way. This is who they are. It's who they are. Well, and that's all I wanted to say. It's who they are.
It's not just something. It's something very specific. And some days I wake up and think, man, this job is easy. This job is, kids, if you can ever get a job talking about sports on TV, do it. It beats working for a living. This is easy.
It's not easy.
Our first show.
It's not easy.
Our first show, I said, Tom Brady's going to fall off a cliff in the next 18 months. When that happens, apparently I'll look smart, even though no quarterback in the history of football hasn't fallen off a cliff by that age. He'd be the first if he didn't. And people are outraged. Oh, my God, how can you say that? So when that happens, I'll look smart by saying people get old. It's unbelievable. And today I get to say, I told you so, because I've been sitting here saying it's not if, but when, because Tony Romo has chronic back problems. So in 2010, he broke the left collarbone. The collarbone's connected to the backbone. You know, somehow. The point is, it's all in this area. Back surgery in 13.
Isn't there a song about that? The collarbone's connected to the backbone. The backbone's connected to... I don't know what the hell it is.
That's right. In 2013, he had back surgery. If you have back surgery, it's never quite the same. I've done Pilates 2-3 days a week for 5 years because I'm trying to avoid back surgery, believe me. You have back surgery, it's never the same. Back injury in 2014, clavicle fracture in 2015, and now a vertebrae in 2016. He has chronic back problems. And post-surgery, the question as to whether he'll ever be able to get through a full season, the answer is clearly no. Now, in terms of the hope about Dak Prescott, he's looked good. I think they found a player. That's like a good job by the Cowboys, finding someone that they didn't have to trade up for in the draft for and all that kind of stuff. But Dak Prescott's a rookie. Dak Prescott has not been zeroed in by first-team defenses yet on an NFL level. Hey, we're going to try and stop this guy. He had some success in his first couple preseason games. He's still a rookie. He ain't going to do much with a rookie quarterback. So the Cowboys are in bad shape. And in terms of the rest of Romo's career, Stephen A. Smith, here's my issue with Romo. I'm going to do a little pop psychologist now, okay? I think that Tony Romo thinks that he's playing with house money. And I question how important it is for him to win a Super Bowl if you compare it to someone like Tom Brady or Eli Manning. And I'll tell you why. Romo wasn't drafted, but he's such a fantastic athlete, and he was so determined, he became the most celebrated Dallas Cowboys quarterback since Troy Aikman. And when you think about what it means to be the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, in this country, once upon a time, it was you were heavyweight champion of the world, or you were center fielder for the Yankees, or and then you're point guard for the Lakers. Like, these are the glamour positions in American sports. Quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys is the #1 glamour title in American sports, and Romo's got it. And a $108 million contract from a guy who went undrafted. In a way, he's already won his Super Bowl. And I wonder, I don't think he's going to retire because he's still got money owed. But I wonder about his level of determination given those circumstances.
I can't believe it.
Versus someone else's.
Look, Max Kellerman.
That's right. I said it.
I just don't know what to do with you sometimes. I'm at a loss. You're going to actually have me here defending the Cowboys.
You like them,
because here's my point. Romo got hurt. Determination don't have anything to do with it. I mean, if your back goes out, Max, what's he supposed to do?
Well, he's going to keep playing.
I'm just saying, he can try, but the point that I'm trying to make to you is that his determination, focus, or whatever the case may be, have nothing to do with what happened to him. He got hurt. That's what happens. Something always happens to the Cowboys. Now, it would be different if he got busted at a marijuana dispensary. It would be busted. It would be different if he got busted stealing cologne and a pair of drawers from a department store. Let me tell y'all something right now. There will never in life be a funnier story that I can imagine than for Joseph Randle to be at a department store, getting in trouble for stealing cologne and a pair of drawers. I mean, there's nothing that could beat that. I can't imagine that anything could beat that. That was just beyond hilarious. I'm sorry, okay? The weed, the DUIs, and all of this other stuff. No. Nothing is more comical than that. I think, listen, to me, if I was a police officer, I would have let him off just for laughter. I've been laughing so hard, I'd have let him go.
That's what I heard in a long time, King. Go ahead.
Just go ahead, man. That's hilarious to me. Clearly he got issues at home to go and check. You sitting on a pair of drawers and a cologne. That was about something else, okay? Let's just leave it at that, okay? So to me, if I was a police officer, I would have let him go just because I would have just been laughing too hard. To
your point, is it unfair for me to put this on determination? Yes.
It is.
I'm making a connection that's not there because in this case, it's his back. He's never going to be the same. He will always be hurt. You cannot rely on him. In addition, I believe, not that the back indicates this, but I've had this suspicion about Tony Romo given his circumstances. I wonder if winning a Super Bowl, which is the last thing in his resume really, is as important to him as it might have been had he not been undrafted, had he not already hit his lottery, had he not already won his personal Super Bowl. He's a starting quarterback, or was until he got hurt, of the Dallas Cowboys.
If he didn't get hurt, he was going. If he didn't get hurt, he would be playing. If he didn't get hurt, he'd be playing, and he'd probably be balling. But in the end, how should the Dallas Cowboys feel about this? They shouldn't mind that much, because guess what? It's at some point in time, probably sooner than later, you need to move towards the future. The man is 36 years of age. He's got a bad back, collarbone, shoulder injuries. He's just fragile. That's what this comes down to. And what it comes down to is that the Dallas Cowboys should be happy that they seem on the verge of moving in a forward direction. Now, they can't admit this. They can't publicly acknowledge this, but it's the truth. Okay? And that's what it is. And
there's still hope for them, by the way.
Jerry Jones is actually cool because I get to have Tony. I really love spending time with Tony Romo anyway. He comes over, hangs with the family and stuff like, let's have dinner, let's sit the huddle family, because he's like a second son to me. You remember Tony? You remember how Jerry Jones feels about it? He's almost like another son to me. So, I mean, that's really what it is. The relationship's not going to go anywhere. He's going to go down because he was too injury prone, and that might be beneficial to him and his legacy. But it's clear that the Dallas Cowboys need to move in a different direction. But we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about it another time, but here's the punchline for everybody else and not Cowboys fans. There's still hope for the Cowboys. It makes me sick to say it, but it's true. There's still hope. I'll get into it another time.
We shall move on, folks. Coming up next, Cam Newton didn't look like the reigning MVP against the Pats this weekend, so should we be concerned about the Panthers franchise quarterback? Don't miss that discussion when we come back.
I don't know this Max coming. I don't know you right now.
I get it. He's famous. Literally. What have you done with Stephen A. Smith?
Your boys can't come over your house.
I'd like to lick the tears off their faces like
God.
Scott Hennerman.
Damn.
People blowing me up on Twitter.
It's the truth. Period.
Me.
And last point is this.
That's a blunt.
Stay off the weed.